My next guest had just married his college sweetheart, Kristin, when he stole all of our hearts in his breakout role in the cult classic movie, one of my favorites, Napoleon Dynamite. Now married 19 years with 4 kids, he's more in love with his wife than ever, and his new film just happens to be called Funny Thing About Love.
Back in elementary school, I remember my best friend, Brian Vorkapich, asking me which one I loved more, Thundercats or G.I. Joes. And obviously I was like, how dare you ask me to choose one over the other? That's blasphemy.
Yeah, what kind of friend is that?
Right? But he would not stop bugging me about it, so for weeks I toiled trying to decide which one I loved more.
Weeks?
I know. It wasn't enough time, but I was under a lot of pressure.
Please welcome Jon Heder from his home in Vancouver, Washington. Jon! It's so good to see you. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
I got to start 20 years of marriage. We've been talking about, walls that get built. You and Kristin were high school sweethearts. You didn't have time to have any walls. You were young and in love. Or were there walls?
We were college sweethearts. And yes, we were young, dumb, and in love. Yeah, we didn't have time to build those walls. We built them together once we were married to protect ourselves from the world.
Well, and that's an interesting thing because you shot and rose to fame, obviously, at a very young age. And I know part of that, the reason you've stayed grounded and been able to raise 4 wonderful children is because, as I understand, she keeps you in check. She is your wall to make sure the ego doesn't penetrate.
She helped build those walls for me. I think, starting out, and especially because we got married right before we shot Napoleon Dynamite. So I don't think she had really anticipated, neither of us had anticipated this huge life change. We had just gone through a major change, which was getting married and ready to start our life. And then suddenly we throw this kind of in the lot and it's just like, all right. And she wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't prepared. So I think one of the biggest blessings is having, not just getting married, but meeting her and being with her through all of that. So I didn't have to deal with the weird stuff that happens with single famous people.
Now you just have weird married famous people things. So tell me about this movie. How fun was it? And what did it tap into to be able to follow this love story, the complexities of it?
Well, this is it was a ton of fun to do because I got to work with some people I really liked. I hadn't met most of them, but it's an ensemble cast, so it's all about a family, and getting to play all these different family members. We just got to hang out for like 2 weeks and become family together. And, when you do these, it's a callback to kind of the 90s rom-com style.
That's how it felt. That's how it felt for me. It was like a throwback feeling that I miss when you watch rom-coms. But I have a question for you since the title is Funny Thing About Love. What is the funny thing about love that you've learned after 20 years of being in it or plus?
Well, it's a roller coaster ride. You have your ups and downs. I'm sure any married person will tell you. I mean, the first year can be tough, and then you go through waves, and there's sections where it's, oh, this is great. And then you can remember milestones where like, oh boy, that was a tough year. It's got its hills and valleys, but I think the funny thing is that, when you are committed, not just committed, but you really do find the things. You're learning to love the whole way. You're finding different things you love about them. You are growing that love. So it's when I think back to when we first started dating and when we first got married, it's so completely different, the way we saw things, the way we saw each other. And having kids and a family and moving several times and just going through all those kind of, experiences together, you have a different light and you come to know each other in different ways. But since you're both part of the same journey, then you're getting to know your adventure mate in different ways, and it's great.
Yeah, I love this conversation because getting to know you outside of the character Napoleon Dynamite, as I'm obsessed with the film and everybody knows that I am, and seeing this version of you, it is a fun ride to watch. Congratulations on everything. Jon's movie, Funny Thing About Love. December 2nd.